Hello crochet friends, welcome back. We're working on our shamrock dishcloth. The last time we met we finished the main portion of our picture part of it, and today we're going to get started with the border. So we ended with a chain 1 at the end of row 29 last time, right? And we're going to turn our work, and our work is going to be on the back side here. And what we're going to do is we are going to single crochet around our whole project. That way we get a nice smooth edge, because we have these nice single crochets here, yet down the sides we don't, right? It's kind of a little different looking, isn't it? So we're going to make it so we have single crochets around the whole project, and then we're going to do a pretty border on it. So what we're going to do is, as you know, single crochet. We're going to enter our first stitch here, yarn over and pull through, yarn over and pull through 2, and that's our first single crochet. And we're going to single crochet each of these stitches across. Now this part should be easy and familiar, so we're just going to do these 29 stitches right over this row here. Then we're going to work down the side, and we are going to have to place stitches wherever we can find a spot. So that can be tricky, and sometimes we have to work some stitches, take some out, because we want them to be as even as possible. So see how we have these nice even single crochets going on, right? And they are all the same size and they're looking good. Well, that's our goal for down the sides. And to do that, sometimes it's a little trial and error, and it's okay, we get there, but it makes doing your border the next time around a lot easier to have a single crochet to work into, and then it makes your border a lot neater looking, because all your stitches do look uniform, okay? But each corner, we need to work around the corners. So if we do just one single crochet in the corner, what happens is it pulls the work and it makes it tight and cinch up on the corners, and we don't want that. So we're going to put 3 single crochets in each of our corners. So here we are, last stitch, and I'm going to do 3 single crochets here. So here's 1, I'm going to go right back in, 2, and right back in, 3, and see how it really just naturally brings you around the corner there. So we're going to turn our work here, and we're looking at these stitches, which are not stitches, but we want to try to find spots evenly without making big gaping holes or anything. See, I don't like to go in that hole. I like to kind of go in here next to it. We don't want big gaping hole looking pieces, but we want nice stitches. So that's 1 and 2, and I'm going to do a few and then stop it and look at it, see how it looks, see if they look fairly even. And once you get going, you can get a bit of a rhythm on it, of how it looks. You can kind of see, well, I put a stitch here and then I put a stitch here, and then they look fairly even. Well, I'm going to stick with that. So see, they look pretty close to the same size, don't they? I mean, I think they're looking pretty good there, pretty close to what we've got on the top. So I'm going to stick with that. So I have been putting one right here, not in the whole part, but trying to make it look like I'm going into a stitch. And then right in this little part there. And that seems to be working for me. Now when we go back up the other side, it's going to look a little different because you're going the other direction. So we'll work all that up together. But we're just going to go along here, making these single crochets, creating them. And just, you know, sometimes we have to make things up. That's all there is to it. That's kind of what we're doing here, aren't we? So we're going along and we're doing these single crochets. So we're going to do this all the way to the end, until we get to that corner. So keep going with this until you get to your corner. Here we go. Okay, once you get to that corner there, 3 single crochets. So there's 1 and 2 and 3. That way we work along the corner there, around it. Now this is our foundation chain. This is the bottom of our work, right? So we're going to go along here and place our single crochets. Just be careful. Sometimes it's easier if you go in a little bit on the chain, because if it's starting to pull too much and look holy, you want to go in a little more. You can see I'm trying to make it so you can see here. Hang on a second. I'm kind of going in here, so I'm picking up all of this, and I'm trying not to pull too much. I'm trying to do fairly loose crochet here, a single crochet, but that looks nice and neat. It's not too holy looking, so try not to pull your hook too much. And of course, when you soak it, it's gonna pull in a little too, which is always good, right? So we're going along. This is our foundation chain from the very beginning when you chained 30. Remember that? Oh, it feels like a while ago, but that's an important part of your work, right? Okay, yeah, I think that's looking pretty good. So far, so good. You're doing okay? I hope so. And we're working our way toward the other side here. So keep going until you get to your next corner. Here we go. Okay, this is the next corner here. Now we have the knot. That's the very beginning. Let's do our 3 single crochets. 1 and 2 and 3. Try to hold that tail in there while you're crocheting, and then that's one less tail to tuck in, right? That's always nice. Okay, this is that other funny side that we were talking about on the way down. Now we're going the way up. So we're going to, again, try to find places to place our stitches. So we don't want giant gaping holes again, like we were talking about before. We just want to find nice spots to place single crochets. So let's see what we can do here. There's 1 and 2. I'm trying to hold that tail in there. I know sometimes that can be a little tricky. If you can't do it, it's okay. You can always sew it in later on. No big deal. I'm always trying to save me a little bit of work. That's all. Okay, so I'm trying to find the same spots that I found last time, but see what I mean? How it looks a little different going the other direction. It's all good. So we're just going along all the way to the top here. See, from this side, this part that I was kind of going in that looked like a stitch there almost, looks different, and it's almost a little harder to get my hook in it from this direction. I kind of have to give it a wiggle, but it's all good. All right, keep going all the way to the next corner. Here we go. Okay, on that last stitch, 3 single crochets for the corner, right? 1 and 2 and 3. Okay, now we're going to turn our work. We want the front of our work facing us. We want to work, I'm going to do a crab stitch or a reverse single crochet, it's called, where we're going to work across our work going toward the right. So it's a little backwards, that's why it's called reverse, but it makes a pretty border, something different. You don't have to do it if you want to just single crochet across again, or maybe do double crochets or shells, whatever you like. But I'm going to demonstrate this, and I will put a link down below for a tutorial for a short, if that helps you out too. But what you're going to do is you're going to take your hook, where you normally would be working to your left, you're going to work to your right. You're going to take your hook and you're going to twist it and go back into your stitch. So here's my stitch, right? And I'm going to yarn over just like I do for single crochet and pull it through. My new loop is on the front, and I'm going to yarn over and I'm going to pull through those 2, just like I do for single crochet. I'm going to take my hook on the next stitch, bring it back, enter, yarn over and pull through. Always that new loop in the front, yarn over and pull through 2. Okay, twist, bring it back to the next stitch. Yarn over and pull through, yarn over and pull through 2. Now manipulate your work so you can feel comfortable bringing your hook back. I mean, you know the dishcloth, you're on the corner there. It might be easier once you get to the middle. And you're going to just keep going along with this, making sure your new loop is on the front. You're getting in your next stitch there, right? Enter, it just goes backwards, right? It's just a little different, but I'm going to do a few and I want to show you what it looks like. See what you think. I kind of think it's nice for something different, you know. I'm going to go along, and now we have all these nice single crochets, so we would just work 1 in each single crochet going around, okay, because you've got it all set up now. And you've got the 3 in the corners, so you won't have any pulling. It's fantastic, right? Okay, let me pull this one. See, it makes a little, I wouldn't call it a ribbing, but it's kind of braid look to it, and I think that that's nice, something different. Like I said, sometimes I just go around with my single crochets and it looks nice and it's neat. Sometimes you just want something a little bit different looking, that's all. So I'm going around and I'm going to hit each single crochet with a reverse single crochet, and we're just going to take our time with it. It takes time only because it's going backwards and your brain just doesn't think that at first, you know what I mean? It's almost like you got to retrain it, that I'm going back and I got to twist my hook and get in there, right? So just take your time, and when you're all done, we'll meet up at the end and we'll join up together. Okay, here we go. All right, crochet friends, your last one should be kind of around the corner there because it was your corner 3 single crochets. So we're going to finish that one up. And how did you do? It takes a little time, doesn't it? Yeah, but that's okay. No big deal. All right, we're going to cut this off here. And we're going to pull this through. Now, I am going to leave it like this so that it wraps into the next one. So I know you're like, wait a minute, we're just dropping it here. If you want to slip stitch, do go ahead, whatever works for you. I am going to leave it here and I'm going to sew it in. So I'm going to show you what I mean. I'm going to go down in the back here and pull it in. So that it goes around the corner and it lays with the next row of the, do you see what I mean? The next row of the crab stitch there. So that's my thought with that. And I'm going to knock this off back here and tuck in this tail. So hopefully it went okay for you. You did all right. I know it takes some time. I was sitting there and I was like, oh, I'm still going. I am still going with this. But it's good. It's better to take your time, make it nice and neat, right? And pretty. So, and you could have changed the color, you know, if you wanted a different color for your border, that's always an idea. It would probably, I think it would look pretty with like something variegated as a color along the edge there. Just a thought. So see, to me, it lays nicely. I think it's okay. I like it that way. So, but you do you by all means. So I've got a couple tails. I got to cut that one off, and I had to join in my second ball there because I was using partial ones. So I got to tuck that in. But other than that, here we are. This is the Shamrock dishcloth. I think it's cute. It's fun. If you're making it for St. Patrick's Day or spring, it's all good. I think it's a great project. So I hope you had fun with this. I enjoy being on this journey with you, and I will see you next time. Thank you, and have a joyful day.